Okay. Now, last class we discussed about the essential elements of a contract. Okay, I told you about what is a contract, and after that, we have taken into account what are the essential elements of a contract. All these things I told you. Now, in this class, I am taking into account the types of contract. How many types of contracts we will come across? Okay, don't be of that opinion that contract will be only one. You will come across different types of contracts. So, when we come across different types of contracts, what are the different types of contracts that we come across? We have to learn that. Now, when we go for a contract, yeah, when we go for a contract, we'll come across three different types of contract basing upon some criteria. So, what are the criteria that we come across? Basing upon formation, basing upon formation, basing upon validity, and basing upon performance. These are the three criteria that we come across when we want to divide the contracts. Okay, again I'm repeating. Okay, contracts, when you want to define and when you want to divide, three criteria is will place an important criteria will place an important role. What are the three criteria? Basing upon formation, basing upon validity, and basing upon performance. Like this, you'll come across three types, three criteria on which we can divide the contracts into different types. Okay, so one by one, let us study all those things. And one thing before starting this, okay, in the middle, I'll tell about Telugu also. In Telugu language also, I'll tell you. But don't be of that opinion that I don't know Telugu or I don't know English. Because in order to make the people to understand easily and clearly, I'm using these Telugu words and Telugu sentences. Okay, I'm I'm telling in the beginning only. From here onwards, when I'm teaching about this business law, okay, I'll try to give you and I'll try to explain you in English only. But if you come across any Telugu words or Telugu sentences, whatever it may be, if it happens for me to tell, don't think otherwise. And it is just to make you to understand that concept, not to deceive you, not to interrupt you, and don't be of that opinion that I don't know the English language at all. Just it is for the purpose of the people who are learning and who are hearing. Okay, because this law language, business law, is not an easy law. It is not an easy subject. This thing I told you in the early classes. It is completely a dry subject. When it is a dry subject and when you want to understand that, compulsory we have to use the Telugu words along with English words. See, don't be of that opinion that only Telugu explanation will be given. You will be given the English explanation along with that Telugu explanation also it will be given. Please try to understand and please try to follow this. And moreover, if I give any examples, don't rely on examples to make you understand about the concept. We are giving the examples because so many people, sir, you are telling every time the examples. Yeah, unless otherwise examples are not given to you, the concept cannot be understood by you. When you cannot able to understand the concept, how you are going to write on the examination, I don't understand. So to make you to understand the concept, we are going to give you examples, number of examples. And wherever the cases they come, we are going to give you the cases also, the explanations and the judgments that we will come across. So don't be of that opinion that the person who is telling this business language, he don't know anything about this. Okay, unless otherwise you won't be taught all these things, you cannot be in a position to grasp the subject. And to make you to grasp the subject, we are giving you and we are struggling you by giving Telugu examples or English examples, cases, everything. Please keep that in your mind and study. Yeah, coming to the criterion. Okay, first one is basing upon formation. When you go for formation, you will have two types, not two types, three types. You will have three types, or four types, sorry, not three types, mainly two types, and remaining two things are optionals. Okay, basing upon formation. Okay, so what are the different types of contract? Express contracts and implied contracts. These are the main two things that we come across basing upon formation. And the next two things are quasi contracts and e-commerce contracts. These are the other two things that we come across. Okay, sir, what is express contract? A contract which will be uttered in the words spoken or written. It is nothing but the express contract. When you express orally or in written, we will call that thing as express contract. Okay, if I say that I am going to meet my friend tomorrow by 10:30, it is nothing but an express contract. That is, I am making an oral contract with that person. So, express contracts are those contracts which are expressed in terms of words spoken or written. Those are nothing but express contracts. Okay, implied contract. The second one is this is a contract which is made by the conditions that are prevailing or by the surrounding circumstances. See the thing. Okay, implied contract is made on the conditions prevailing at the time of formation or by the surrounding circumstances. Okay, suppose in this context I am going to give an example. Suppose if you come across thirsty, automatically some sounds will come. Wicked. In Telugu, we'll call that thing as wicked. So automatically one person, if he brings a glass of water, it is nothing but an implied contract, please. It is nothing but an implied contract. There are no words spoken or written by the conditions prevailing or by the surrounding circumstances. Okay, by the surrounding circumstances or by the conditions prevailing, whatever it may be, the contract that we come across, it is known as an implied contract. Sir, can you please give us some more examples? Yeah, when you get into a bus, it is nothing but an implied contract. The bus came and you entered into the bus, it is nothing but an implied contract. No one asked you to enter into that bus. No one written that you have to enter into a contract. And going to a hotel and taking a cup of coffee or tea, whatever it may be, it is nothing but an implied contract. If you go to a hotel, you can drink water and you can come, or simply for sitting you can go. But the waiter, he won't come and ask you, and there is no contract between you and the waiter. Drinking a cup of coffee or drinking a cup of tea, it is nothing but an implied contract. Getting into a bus is nothing but an implied contract. And weighing yourself on a weighing machine is an implied contract. Okay, by the conditions prevailing or by the circumstances prevailing. When you go for, bus stations or railway stations, you will come across weighing machines. And that weighing machine is not calling you. Okay, some people, they'll go and they'll see their weights. By seeing them, you are going and you are seeing your weight. So, taking into the account, going to a weighing machine and see your weight is not a express contract. It is nothing but an implied contract. So, whatever it may be, the contracts that are formed by the conditions prevailing or by the circumstances, surrounding circumstances, that type of contracts are not nothing but implied contracts. Quasi contracts. Quasi contracts. Contracts are, they are not really the contract but seems to be like contracts. They are not actually contracts, please, but seems to be like contracts. Those are nothing but quasi contracts. It is a contract in which there is no intention on either side to make a contract, but the law imposes a contract. See the peculiarity. The law imposes a contract. Suppose if you are having a house, and a portion of your house will be given to your son, okay, for their staying, he won't pay you rent, and you are not taking rent. But when you take that in the court of law, it is a contract. The son has to pay the rent and the father has to take the rent. They'll treat like that. But actually speaking, the son won't give any rent and the father won't take any rent. So, like that, okay, you will come across quasi contracts. They are not said to be real contracts, but seems to be like real contracts in the court of law. So, those are nothing but quasi contracts. Next, e-commerce contracts. E-commerce contracts means electronic commerce contracts. Electronic commerce contracts. Of course, at present we are going for that stage only, e-commerce. Due to the great pandemic disease, corona, some people what they are doing is they are not going outside with the fear that they will be caught this corona. What they are doing is they are taking their cell phones and they are ordering. And those people, okay, they are bringing the commodities, charging more money. That is nothing but e-commerce contracts. E-commerce contracts are said to be electronic commerce contracts. That is, purchasing and selling will be done electronically. You will give your order and that person, he will take your order and he will pack that and he will bring that to you. And people what will do is will take that, oh, this man he brought that. But thing is one thing, he is charging more money. Let him charge. Let him charge. Like that people they are taking. This is nothing but an ordinary man and a middle class family member, he won't do that. But high class people, when they don't want to go out and when they don't want to face this pandemic situation, then they are bringing the commodities through Amazon. There are so many companies. When you want to eat, you are going for Swiggy, Zomato, and when you are ordering, the people they'll bring, and you are taking that and you are eating that. If you go outside and if you are fearing that you will come across this pandemic disease, okay, that product also it came from outside only. When you eat that, automatically it will come. Okay, the same thing. The thing is, we are not moving from a house. Why should I? Why should we waste our energy? When we won't go outside, we won't be diseased. But when that person, when he brought that, by eating that also, you will get the disease. It won't tell that if you go outside, I am going to catch you, and if you won't go, and when you eat from even outside food, I am not going to catch you like that. It is not telling that. That is e-commerce contracts. Okay, contracts. It is one which is entered into between two parties via internet. This expands the area of operation in commercial transactions for any person. Just now I told that. A clever person, he won't go for and he won't think about this e-commerce contracts. Okay, luxurious persons and rich people who doesn't want to show their faces to outsiders, who don't want to show their faces to outsiders, those people they'll go for this e-commerce contracts. This is according to formation. Now, when we go for the second criteria, basing upon the validity, basing upon the validity, you will have three types of contracts. You will have three types of contracts: valid contract, void contract, and voidable contract. Like this, you'll come across three things. So, valid contract, what is this? In a contract, when all the elements, whatever we have learned, when they are present, when they are present, it is said to be a valid contract. That is, there should be offer and acceptance, consideration, lawful object, free consent, legal formalities, certainty, no impossibility, everything, whatever it may be, the elements that we come across, when all the elements, when they are present, it is said to be a valid contract. Okay, sir. Now, what about void contract? When any one of them or some of them, some of the elements, when they are not present, then it is a void contract. Straight away. When any one of them or some of them, some of the elements of contract, when they are absent, when they are not there, it is said to be a void contract. And voidable contract. This voidable contract we can compare with one thing: a cat walking on a wall. దీన్ని తెలుగులో ఏమంటారంటే గోడ మీద పిల్లి వాటం. It will jump either this side or that side, anything. It means sometimes this contract will become valid and sometimes it become void. That's why the name voidable contract came for that. It's just nothing but a cat on a wall. It may jump this side or it may jump that side. When the other party, when is good, automatically it will become valid contract. If the other party, if he or she is not good, then it will become a void contract. So you will come across voidable contract. Sometimes it will become valid and sometimes it will become void. So that's why we are keeping the word voidable. So like this, you will come across three types of contract basing upon the validity. Now, after that, we are going for the next criteria. Okay, performance. Okay, when you go for performance, you will come across two types mainly. You'll come across two types: executed contract and executory contract. Executed contract and executory contract. In the same way, you will come across another classification: one sided contract and two sided contract. And you may get confused, sir, what is this executed and executory? What is this one sided and two sided? I'm going to explain that thing also. Executed, already done. When both the parties, when they have done that performance, when they have done their performances, we'll call that thing as executed contract. When both the parties, when they performed their duties, when they performed their obligations, then it is said to be executed contract. Now, what about executory contract? When you go for executory contract, only one party, if he performs his obligations, and when the other party, when he does not perform his obligations, then it is nothing but executory contract. Okay, again I'm repeating: executed contract and executory contract. When both the parties, when they perform their obligations for a contract, it is nothing but executed contract. When one party, when he performs his obligations, and when the other party, when he does not perform his obligations, it is nothing but executory contract. Okay, so I'll just go through that. Executed means that which is done, which is done. Executed contract is which one in which both the parties have performed their obligations. Example: A agrees to paint a picture for B for 100 rupees. This is A agreed to pay. I mean, A agrees to paint a picture for 100 rupees for B. That is, A painted a picture and B had given 100 rupees to A. So both the performance, both the persons' performances are completed. Okay, both their obligations were fulfilled. So it is nothing but an executed contract. Executory contract. Executory means that which remains to be carried out. Which remains to be carried out. An executory contract is one in which both the parties have yet to perform their obligation. Okay, when one party or when both the parties, when they are yet to perform their obligations, it is nothing but executory contract. Okay, now example: A agrees to engage B. A agrees to engage B, a servant for the next month. See the big clarity. A agrees to engage B as a servant for the a servant for the next month. Thus, executory contract may be unilateral contract or one-sided contract. It is also known as, see the big clarity, executory only. Don't be of that opinion that it is executed. Executory contract may be unilateral or bilateral. Okay, in other words, it may be one sided or two sided. Anything. Okay, So tomorrow we are going to continue, and I'm stopping here.